Understanding English Literature by Cool Win Learning Channel. In this video, we are going to understand a famous poem written by Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken. Let's read the first stanza. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Let's understand the meanings of difficult words which are given in red in the stanza. In the first line, there are two words, diverged and yellowwood. Diverged means divided or poking into two or dividing into two. Yellowwood means a forest with yellow leaves, which indicates the arrival of autumn season. In the last line of the stanza, again there are two words, bent and undergrowth. Let's see the meanings of these words. Bent means curved or turned. Undergrowth means wild bushes, etc. Let's understand the meaning of the stanza. First, we'll discuss the literal meaning and then the symbolic meaning. While traveling through the forest, the poet reaches a place where the road he is walking on divides into two. The poet is confused as to which road he should take. Though both the roads appear equally interesting, yet he cannot walk on both the roads as a single traveler. He regrets this, but then he thinks deeply and takes his time to decide which road to take. He looks down at one road as far as it is visible, till it curves into the forest and is not able to see the road further. Symbolically, the roads signify the options or choices we have in our life. Sometimes in our life, we have difficult choices to make. We take a long time to think which option would be a better option. Only time can tell whether we were right in making the choice we made. The diversion in the road is symbolic of confusion or dilemma we face in life by making a decision. Yellowwood represents the autumn in the life of the poet, which means he had reached the peak of maturity, and that is the time when he had to take a crucial decision. Let's read the second stanza. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted fair, though as for that the passing there had borne them really about the same. Let's understand the meanings of the words. Took means opted for or chose. Fair means appropriate, right or justified. Claim means right or merit. Where means usage or to be used. Let's understand the literal meaning first and then the symbolic meaning. In the first line, the other stands for the second road. After thinking long and hard about the first road, the poet decides to take the second road, which looks as appropriate and right as the first one. The first road was a beaten track, which means many people had traveled on it as it was easy to walk upon. But the other road seemed to have better claim or right than the first one. The poet gives us the reason for his preference, and that is the second road was grassy and needed to be used more than the first one, as very few people had traveled on it. He felt that both the roads should be equally used by the travelers. Symbolically, in his life, the poet comes across two choices. One, to follow the beaten track that is sure and easy and followed by many people, and the other one, adventurous, risky, and uncertain way of life, and followed by a very less number of people. Being adventurous by nature, the poet decides to take the challenging and difficult way of life. In this stanza, there is also an autobiographical element when the poet had to make a crucial decision to migrate from USA, his native place, to Britain and settle there forever. It was quite risky and challenging to leave his homeland and settle in another country with an uncertain future. Let's read the second stanza now. And both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Let's understand the meaning of the word trodden. Trodden means walked upon. It is the third form of the word tread, which means to walk. Let's understand the literal and the symbolic meaning of the stanza. In the first line, the word both means the two roads we mentioned earlier. When the poet resumes his journey in the morning, both the roads look similar because both of them are equally covered with dry leaves that have fallen from the trees. No one had walked on any of them. How he could tell us this? It's because the leaves have not turned black due to people walking on them and crushing them in the process. This line means that both the roads appeared similar to the poet. The third line is an exclamatory sentence starting with O and ending with exclamation sign, which indicates the poet's regret on deciding to keep the first road for some other day, as in his heart of hearts he knows that it's not going to happen because in order to reach a destination, we keep moving on and the road we have taken branches off into another road or path. So symbolically, all choices appear to be good initially, but the consequences of a choice tell us whether it was a good or a bad choice. And once we make a choice, we have to stick to it and keep working on it to be successful. There's no going back or starting all over again in life. So we must make all the choices very wisely because they have a deep impact on our life. Let's read the last measure. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. Let's see the meanings of the words. Sigh means deep breath, ages and ages means in many years' time, and hence means future. Let's understand the meaning of this stanza. In this stanza, the poet says that after a long period in future, or when he is quite old, he would be telling with a sense of regret that he had come across two roads in the forest and he chose the one which was travelled by a less number of people. It did not prove to be as good as he had thought because following it, he had reached a place where he was dissatisfied and remorseful. He feels if he had taken the other road, the consequences would have been different. Symbolically, the poet was not happy with his decision to shift from USA to Britain to pursue his career as a poet. So, he would narrate his story in future with a feeling of remorse that his choice of adventurous life shaped his life differently. And if he had taken the beaten track, his life would have been better. Thank you.